Crafty Hallett video. I'm going to be showing you how to make these little wraps. They are for these chocolate lollies that I got, and I'm going to be giving them to my co-workers. So it opens up here, and inside you can see I've just stuck a simple tag onto the penguin or whichever one you've got, and the box inside is lined. So without further ado, what do you need? Start with, I've got a Marina Mist one that I'm making here because it goes with my scrapbook paper. The box base is 12 centimetres by 23 centimetres, or 4 3/4 inches by 9 1/8 inch. I'll put all these measurements on my blog, so don't worry about it. This is the base, and then you've got the wrap. Now the wrap is 16 centimetres by 17.5 centimetres, and on the, what I've done is I've cut the card to size and I've corner rounded the corners using the corner punch. But then I've also stuck the scrapbook paper on the front, as it's easier to do this when it's flat. And I've also put some sticky strip here, which is going to be for where the ribbon goes. Make sure you stick it with the short side at the top. And then you're just going to turn it over and pop it back in here and score it at 7 and 9 centimetres. And again, I will put other measurements on my blog. And then, using your bone folder, you can then score it across. It's much simpler to do it this way than it is to try and do it the card's base first and then add the paper, as I learnt to my cost when I was making the prototype. Just do it gently because you don't want to rip the paper. But that's the wrap all made and ready to go. How simple was that? Now, for the box base, that's very simply the 12 centimetres by 23 centimetres, and you're going to score it at 1.5 centimetres and 3 centimetres on all 4 sides. So bear with me whilst I do this. And if you've not made a box like this before, it's a really simple way to make a box, and you can just adjust the size accordingly. Measure your lolly first. The inside dimensions of this box are 6 centimetres by 17 centimetres. So you want to make sure that your lolly isn't too big or too small. And if needs be, you can adjust. Then taking your bone folder again, we're going to, I like to just fold these first with my fingers just to make sure I've got them in the right place, because this is quite a long score line and it's awkward if you get it in the wrong place. And then just run your bone folder over them. Now, when I first started making boxes and 3D items, I didn't have a bone folder and I didn't think I needed one. But my boxes weren't coming up very crisp and the edges weren't very sharp, and so I learnt to use my bone folder, and you do get better results. So do buy one. If not, if you don't want to buy one, use something like a credit card or something like that to go online and buy one. No, to score the edges. So once I've done all of my edges on the short side, I'm going to come up so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to snip up as far as the second score line, here and here, and I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. And when you're snipping up, in a minute we'll trim the tags to size, but just make sure that you are slap bang in the middle of your score line, because you'll get a neater result with your box that way. And then we're going to trim that one at the furthest score line and this one at the first score line, so that we create a little tab. And on the little tab, we're just going to take off a fraction on each side, and it is just a wedge, just so that you get a slightly neater tab. Can you see what I've done there? So again, on the other side here, you cut this one off at the second score line, this one off at the first score line, and then just take little tiny wedges into the tabs. And you're going to do that again on all of the sides. So let's just do this third side. And this is how you create the tab. And I'm going to do the same over here. I'm laughing because I have a cat who's just jumped onto my table, but luckily he's been distracted by something I've just thrown him, so hopefully we won't be visited by said small cat. Okay, so let's just put those pieces to one side. Then you're going to take your glue. I'm using Tombow glue because it's easier, and just rub glue on all 4 sides, and then just flip up your tabs and put a little bit on your tab. Now it may look like I've got a lot of glue going on here, but you want the box to hold, and it's not a very thick layer I'm putting on. I'm spreading it with the spreader. So next, fold your box in with the little long sides first, and then take up the short side. This is where you need a 3rd hand, or maybe even a 4th hand, and tuck it in. Keep your fingers clear because you don't want to end up with glue on them. And then same there, and just smooth it over, and then take the long sides and do them. Whoops. And that is the walls of your box done. Now I like to just hold these for a few minutes with a peg, just because it helps to hold the sides together just whilst the glue just needs a moment to catch. And in that time I'm going to show you how I did this piece on the front. So I've used this stamp set, which is the Bright and Beautiful stamp set. I've used that sentiment, and I have stamped it first in Stays On in black on a piece of Whisper White. This is my layering piece underneath. It's just cut just a fraction larger on all 4 sides, and then I've got a scrap bit of Whisper White, and I'm going to be using Marina Mist. And the cat's trying to come in. Go away, go away, go away, cat. And I'm just going to stamp it again in Marina Mist and leave that to one side to dry. And I'm going to show you how I cut the top. And then for the tag, I have been using this tag set called Merry Everything, and I've stamped that one here with Stays On, and I'm going to use the punch that goes with it to just punch out, with a bit of luck, to punch out the tag. Well, that was clever, wasn't it? I've done it the wrong way, but hang on, let's just see if we can get it in. Nope, it's going to need to trim the bottom. Sometimes to get these to fit, you are going to have to just trim them a little bit. And then, yay, that should work. I've just lined it up, and I'm going to punch. There we go. Oh, hello. It's unusual. It doesn't normally happen. Take that to one side. And then I'm going to be using the Merry Christmas. And I'm just going to ink that up and lining it up carefully, pop it onto my tag, and that should be in the right place, and it is. Yay! So that's my tag, and here I'm just going to trim the Christmas and New Year piece as close to the letters as I dare on both sides. Oopsie-daisy. And this will go onto the piece that I've already used, using some little foam pads so that it's raised up. So I'm going to raise that up. Here we go. And then place that on top of the black letters. You see, it just gives it a little bit of an extra lift. And then using Monsieur Snail, just going to attach it to its layer here, making sure it's even all the way around. Now it's time to remove the sticky strip. Oh yes, the ribbon. I'm using this beautiful silky ribbon, but it's good to find the midpoint and just have that in your hand in the midpoint, because you can then peel off half of the sticky strip, hold the midpoint here, and then place that piece over, rather than starting with a big bit in the middle and having one piece not the right length, and then just going to wrap that over and wrap it round again, and that should all stick. I'm using sticky strip because ribbon's quite difficult to get sticking sometimes, and it's easier if you do. And then my sentiment fits beautifully across the top, and I'm just going to pop that on there. Oops, with some foam pads to hold it in place. And now my box, which has been held together, I can put the lining in for the box, and the lining is 6 centimeters by 16.5 centimeters, but obviously adjust yours accordingly. I'm just going to put a piece of snail in there to hold that. You can, if you want to, use glue, of course. There you go, that fits in nicely. Just turn it up. And then the bottom of the box, I use wet glue because I want it to stick and I don't want it going anywhere. Just put a nice layer of wet glue and then line it up accordingly with a nice little gap around the sides and the top. Your little chocolate treat fits inside. And then I'm just going to take a little dimensional and attach the tag. And you're good to go. Obviously, on the other one that I made, I used some slightly different scrapbook paper, and I decorated it with a few dazzling diamonds. This one I'm going to do the same on. So I've just got a couple of diamonds. And these are obviously already sticky because they've got a little sticky piece on the back, but I'm going to also stick a couple of snowflakes on, and they are not. So using my new favourite glue, which is these transfer adhesive sheets. I've got a separate video on glues. If you've not seen it, do watch because they're great. So you just peel back the dull side, which is the transfer sheet, and then we're going to just stick a few snowflakes on. And yeah, just a few snowflakes, I think. Do I want sequins? Don't know. I might change my mind. No, I don't want sequins. I've stuck up something else on. So once you've done that, just rub them down and then pick up the piece, and they are sticky and ready to go, and no waiting for the glue to dry, which is fabulous, isn't it? There we go. All finished, all stuck. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please watch my YouTube channel for more. Thank you.